I'm Vipul Singh, partner designer card consultants in business for last 24 years. And today we are having a chat, informal chat with my dear friend and who's more like a younger brother to me, architect Love Choudhary. So let's move the ball and enjoy the talk.
Thank you, sir. So I'm architect Love Choudhary, founder, design director at Ant Studio. So I have been invited by Triple ID to have this conversation, a very interesting conversation, I think. We look forward to a small chat about how has been our journeys, how we came friends, how we met, and something interesting which probably we'll reveal while we are having chatting that it's just not the professional relationship. There's a personal angle to it, which we
Correct.
later
Yes.
discovered. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yes, please, sir.
So we happen to be distantly related to each other.
Yes, exactly.
So that was a pleasant surprise. And
True.
but yes, the journey has been nice, and I would say that Love being younger to me, but he's far more successful. I would say, as I look up to him for his quality of design and the projects which he is doing. So it's a
That
matter of pride to know you.
That's so kind of you coming from you. And I would say, as we say, design is a journey, life is a journey. I've learned so much from your partner. I've learned so much from you, looking at the kind of designs that he does in
Ah,
landscape, the way it's like a magic wand. He
yes,
just has a different take. He's in a different world when he's designing. And
correct,
I
correct.
learned so much during my college days. And as you said, right, I'm younger in that whole aspect of design, but there's so much to learn, on a habitual level. That how do you actually approach this industry altogether, and how do you like successful is a very big word. Yeah? I say it's like a
It's
journey.
it's relative. It's
It's
relative.
relative. It's like you're learning every day. But yes,
Correct.
we are blessed that we got the right opportunities, we got the right projects to work on,
Yes.
and we were kind of making a mark at the right place by doing right stuff, which
So
I would say again goes to mentors like you, where we have seen things, how you have tackled them, and with I would say more development in the architecture and the design field, and more availability of thoughts, more availability of the infrastructure. The things keep on developing.
yeah, yeah.
At the time when you were practicing and the things that you guys started, you pretty much had a blank point where you started off, right? It
Yes.
was a blank canvas.
And
Today we have so much case studies to do,
yes, yes.
which are your
And we
projects.
and the
So
other thing is that when we started, yeah, we were lucky enough to hit at the top.
yeah,
And for us, if you go through the portfolio, we've been only having large scale format
exactly,
projects.
exactly.
So 24 years from now, having that sort of an exposure, we had never thought. So
Yep.
it's all blessing, I would say.
And that's what I say, like the scale of projects that you have tackled is pretty much weaved into the urban fabric of a city.
Correct,
So you
correct.
have been, if I can say so, that you have been also shaping the urban design of the city, and the way you have done, if it's like even a small way of adding into the city, you have worked on projects which, the infrastructure, the way the design has really made that city shine, the way the landscape that you have infused, it has been so local yet so sustainable, something which has grown, from what you might have designed 5 years back and what you see now.
Correct, correct, correct.
People are still learning from
No,
that.
no, that's why, very true, because when we designed the first mall for Gorakhpur, city of Gorakhpur, by the name of AD Mall,
Yeah,
it was a pleasant surprise to me because it was all over in YouTube.
yeah.
So, you feel very proud of it. That yes, you have done something which people are celebrating. So yes, and we keep on doing those sort of projects, and we happen to do it in tier two towns
Yep.
more than the main cities, because yes, now there is a lot of money, and people are also exposed to different aspects of life because they travel, and hence with technology and with internet, they also know a lot of things. So when they are able to use those aspects which they see on the net, yeah, they will become happy, and we are very satisfied doing that. So I think yes, you're very true in those terms. But yes, one segment where I am trying to penetrate and where you've already penetrated is hotels.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a very I would say, uh, जो जिसके पास नहीं होता है ना,
हाँ, The grass is greener on the other
Yeah, 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 yeah.
side. You can
So
always
I've
say
done
like
a
that.
lot of hotels,
Yeah.
but yes, I would want to still further
Yeah.
penetrate as far as you were
Yeah.
penetrated. I would like to do say so. I'm doing a lot of hotels and
So see,
resorts, but then
as I say,
yes,
if I see design accord from the lens that I see it, you have been such a spectacular firm that, as I said, that you have worked at a domain or at a level, and at these former years where you have started developing that relationship, and that relationship has built into the tier 2 and tier 3 cities,
correct, correct.
because I think you are one of those design firms which we can look up to, that you have that design beacon now. Because see, what we have done with our metropolitan cities, you already know, we are a
Correct.
disaster.
Yes, yes.
Probably we could do better for tier 2 and tier 3 cities,
Definitely,
because
definitely.
you have the movers advantage first.
Yes.
You have got that kind of scale of projects. So the way you are visioning those city, they can be really, really better than metropolitan cities what we have
Any day,
today.
any day.
And like, yes, I understand that Ant Studio is doing good in hospitality. It's again, when I was with late Shri Dr. B.V. Doshi, I was working on major scale projects, Raksha Shakti University, hectares of a project. Bhuj Museum, again, hectares of a
Correct,
project.
correct, correct.
Projects which lasted more, maybe 15 years, and
Yes.
I was there just for 1.5 years. So, what could I take out of that? So, the idea was that the concept and the frugal thought process that they have, and the way they go very deep into the design, and it's very playful. They are not like, you are not it's not like an exercise where you are like, time bound or something.
Correct.
It's a creative flow where you are like working on ideas which today maybe you are shaping something, and tomorrow you might come up with something and you can
Yeah.
evolve. And the clients give you that kind of timeline. Client give you that creative space. So I really enjoyed that 1.5 years over there. There were so many competitions that we took part over there, and that really shaped my thought process. But I did know that as young architect, nobody is going to give me a city, nobody is giving me a university planning,
Correct.
nobody would ask me to make an architecture college the next day. So
Yeah.
I have to start small. So I started with the residential of it, then I excelled at it, and then the hospitality started. But I really realized that maybe for me something in the hospitality sector really buzzes, because you're creating for a mass, but the thought process that you're creating where people will come and enjoy those moments just like you enjoy in a home. Hotel has a very different feeling. It's
Correct.
luxury. it's
Yes.
it's luxury to a level that it could be very different for you, it could be very different for
Very,
me.
very true.
But having thought of luxury in a different way, you are catering to a mass yet coming up with a solution which is accepted by everyone. So hotels has been something which fascinates me. And as a young child, when I started architecture, it has been always a vision that I get to see something built. I don't know why the younger generation, if I call the Gen Z, they are losing this passion towards
Yes.
architecture.
Correct, correct.
What I feel is this architecture fraternity gives you that. It's like, as a sculptor, you are making something which will last more
It's like
than,
your child. It's
yeah,
like your
and it
child.
might surpass your lifetime as well
Yes,
if you do a
obviously.
good job. So if something is there for 30, 40, 50 years, it's there in brick and mortar, and it's
Yes.
something to be proud of. If you do a blunder, you have to cross it every now and then. So better do a good job, right? So this is something that I always feel. So
This
whenever I talk to my junior, architects, the people that we have in the studio, I always tell them that consider this is passion. Like, what
obviously.
are you doing it? Like, people are doing, different things, but this is something that you're living and imagining, and you're building it in
Correct,
brick
correct.
and concrete, and you're right seeing it right there. So the passion of seeing it and that visualization coming to life is like a creator's job.
Definitely,
At the end of the
definitely.
day, you are a creator or you're a magician, you're
You
bringing
have
it
to be
into shape.
really passionate,
Exactly.
because for me it so happens that in one or two projects which I have designed about 15-20 years back, and I happen to see those projects and they are not in a good shape, I happen to call the client and tell them, "Arey bhai, क्या कर रहे हो? Maintain क्यों नहीं कर
Exactly.
रहे हो?"
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day they are still my child.
Yes. Yes.
So I am of that point of view that I will not hold anything less to deliver,
True. True.
because at the end of the day you've put your blood and soul to create something, and अगर उसकी आप maintenance नहीं कर रहे हो, तो orphan child,
Yep.
मतलब,
Yep.
so you can't see your child being
True.
treated like that.
True.
So I have a habit of calling up the client and telling, अगर आप नहीं कर पा रहे हो मेरे को बताओ,
True.
मैं करा देता हूँ, लेकिन at least that has to be maintained.
Yeah, and I see that as architects, designers, we have this vision that we dwell in the past, like we study the past.
Yes.
We are creating something in present. something which is a definitive future.
Ah,
So having to play that role that you're bridging that timeline from the past, present, and the future, and when you can see something happening
correct.
while the renderings are happening, you know the same
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
yeah.
I make a sketch, I ask my visualizer that this has to look this way, and I can know it that today it is, let's say we are sitting in 2025 and a project will be envisaged, it will, you know,
3 years,
see
4 years
in
from now.
three
Yeah.
years, yeah, 2028. But this is the way it would look. This is the way people
Yes.
would dress. This is the paper, the kind of cars would move around. This is the kind of infrastructure would happen, or this is the kind of facade that you should be working on. So that becomes very interesting. So, visioning something in 225 and looking at in 2028 is looking into the future.
Yes,
So you're
yes, yes.
creating something. So which I learned from the project in Lulu Ganga and from the master architect again. The way he made his sketches. I went to Lulu Ganga, I saw the sketches, I saw what he was doing with the landscape. So he always imagined the landscape in 10 years of
Yes, yes.
timelines. Like
And
in
it
10
is
years,
an
it would look
integral
like.
part of architecture.
Exactly,
It is an
exactly.
extension of architecture.
And he already knew that this tree foliage will come down, probably the shadows will fall over
Yeah, yeah.
here, the foliage will cover the buildings like this. So this was very interesting to look at.
It's
And
it's in
this,
it's a holistic sort of a situation where the architect visualizes, and
yes,
that is how we work. Rather, in a hotel which I am designing in Jaipur,
yeah,
normally you don't see a screen in between of the room.
yeah,
You just enter and you see the entire room. But here, which I am doing,
hmm,
it's a 200 room hotel in Jaipur. We have put a screen in between, and the client was not very confident of doing it. But now that it has been done, the mock-up proof is ready. uh, he's so happy,
yeah.
as it has become the main feature of the hotel itself. Now that same screen is being taken to different parts of the hotel to bind. It's a binding factor of the hotel.
True.
So yeah, we tend to be little afraid of using our bold statements, but I think we need to experiment also.
No, I
And
echo with you completely because that's what happens. Like these are hard conversations to have
yes,
with the stakeholders, with the developers, with the hoteliers. They understand certain things, but their way of looking at things is very different.
yes,
But at times it's hard for architects as well to convey the vision.
yes,
Yes, a good architect is someone who can put it down in drawings, in renderings, or at least be vocal about it. But at times there are certain emotions that you can really
and
show. You
also
have to stand by it.
one should also have the courage to accept कि हाँ अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है.
Exactly, exactly. You can't
एक्सपेरिमेंट
draw
नहीं
everything.
करेंगे
It's
तो
true.
मतलब आई वुड से nobody is perfect,
Yeah.
but if you want to do something different, we have to experiment, and we have to be bold enough to own that, whether it is a mistake or whether it is a design decision, I would
Like you
say.
said, design mistakes. So I think design is all about making
Yeah,
mistakes.
yeah, yeah, we
It's
learn
like
from
you
mistakes.
learn from mistakes. Maybe make 1,000 and 1,001 is the right design. So it's about making those mistakes,
Another thing which comes to me from the word mistake is the fee which we generally.
which we are still struggling to do
Yes,
that. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think the architects are still committing mistakes on the fee factor. There
Yeah.
is a no uniform code, or I would say uniform. No, one architect charges something as low as I must not say, but
Yeah.
still I'm tempted to say. The project where I quoted as 38 lakhs as my fee, another architect quoted 3 lakhs.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So, and the client wanted me to explain as what I'm going to put into that project, where another architect will be doing it in 3 lakhs.
That's a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
So how did you come about? Like, what did
I
you explain?
just stood up. I said, then you go to that architect.
Yeah.
I said, don't waste my time.
Got it. Got it.
I said, don't waste my time, because then you are mistaken. He said, आपको करना क्या है? फ्लोरिंग की ड्राइंग देनी, फॉल सीलिंग की ड्राइंग देनी, बाकी मैं काम कर लूंगा.
So in your case, I would say that you were the architect who was hiring, probably getting more fee or asking for more fee, whereas
Yes.
the other architect was the less one.
हाँ.
In our cases, we are always jumbling around, or there is always a discussion between the international architect and us
Correct,
when we
correct.
do the
Yes,
hospitality
yes,
projects. International architects are designing and they are charging even for concept,
Obviously.
which could be our whole package fee. But
Correct.
still, the clients, they want to go with them.
Yes.
So this is a conversation that we had very deliberately in our studio, with my associates, with the people. And I was like, what can be done differently or why are these guys getting better at it that they're asking more, still getting it, and we are trying to maybe cut ourselves, or maybe I would say shoot myself in the shoe,
Yeah,
and still charging less and not getting the project.
obviously.
Then I realized they are actually anchoring their whole scope of work, which I say is the only document that can define a difference between you and the other architect, is the value that they're adding. So whereas we are talking of square footage and square meter and lump sum fee, they never talk about that. They are always talking of a percentage and the value that they bring on board. So they are not talking about that this is this much of a built up and I will charge this much. What they are saying is you will earn this much out of this project
Correct.
in a 10-year timeline, and this is what I'm charging.
Yes.
So it is almost like a discount offer for them, right? For us, we are talking 100 rupee, you are getting a 90% discount for 10 rupee. Whereas for them, the game is much bigger. So what they have told the developers is you are probably getting 10,000 rupees out of it.
Yes.
So paying 1,000 for me, it does not make
Yeah.
it
But
will
then
not.
one thing is also there that we should be not afraid to say no.
Certainly.
As most of us, most of the architects are, we agree at the end of the day, we agree to whatever the client is paying.
Yeah.
कि कहीं ये project चला ना जाए.
Yeah.
But slowly I have learned
Hmm.
and I've said no to many projects now
Yeah.
because एक चीज समझ में आई जिंदगी में कि जो ट्रीटमेंट आपको चाहिए है वो आप डिमांड करिए,
Yes.
वो आपको मिलेगा.
And even respect.
Yes.
You have to command
Right.
and demand respect.
Yes,
You
demand.
will not
Yes,
get it
yes.
just like
Yeah,
that.
you will not get it.
Very true. Very
So
true.
the point is, then why should you at least bow down to what the other client is paying? नहीं करना नहीं करना है.
Yeah.
Don't be unhappy working.
Yeah.
Why after working for 24 years in the industry,
Yeah.
if now you are not happy working,
Yeah.
then there is something wrong.
True. True. True.
So you need to change. That is what I felt.
I think for that, as collectively as architects, designers, we have to come together, like you
Yes,
said,
yes.
say no collectively, not
Correct,
as
correct.
individuals.
Yes, yes.
Have a minimum thought process that a project of this scale, or if a client does this to 2 or 3 of us, probably abolish the client or
Yes.
not work for that client.
Correct, correct.
Because at the end of the day, I understand there's so many designers, architects, but if we don't say no, it's almost like falling for that trap. So
Correct.
we have to take a stand somewhere.
Yes.
And having said that, I just wanted to understand this dynamics of your partnership. So Majudar sir is a landscape architect. You are an architect and a designer. So how does these conversations happen on an everyday basis in office?
See,
and how do you delegate work?
it's a very interesting relation which we have developed in SPA. He was in Masters Landscape Department and I was in Product Design.
Wow.
So while we used to make models in the hostel, so he used to come to us कि अच्छा ये chair का model बना रहे हो, lamp का model बना रहे हो, तो he was very inquisitive and hence we interacted and we became friends. And later on we decided to start Design Accord Consultants.
Yes.
And yeah, God is great. We have been together for last so many years now. We met in 1996.
Wow.
And we met in 1996 and still we are together. And yeah, and we love to be together and take Design Accord internationally forward. We have worked in Vietnam, we have worked in Philippines, we have worked in Dhaka, in Middle East, Bhutan,
Yep.
and Bali.
Yes.
And then we still want to have that flavor and we want to take it further. And मजा आता है दोनों लोगों को काम करने में.
No, I see that in your bonding and the relationship that you share with it. It's always very warm, the way you approach each other, the way, and I see that dynamics because it comes very naturally to you.
Yes,
As
yes,
you said, like the relationship goes back to 1996, it's 29 years.
Yes.
It's a long, long time. I
And
would
you
say.
know what happens is that there are times when he gets a hotel project just for landscape, and the client is just thinking about how to go about the interiors or go about the architecture.
Yeah.
And vice versa, when I get an opportunity with a similar sort of a project where I'm either into interior design or in architecture or both,
Yeah.
and the person is looking for a landscape architect, so it is like a one-stop shop.
Yep.
So we happen to work together in many projects, and architecture, landscape architecture, interiors all blend together. That gives a one unified, holistic design to the client. And we've done many projects like these, many IT parks like these, and we have done a resort in Kaziranga like this. So it's a very nice time to work, you know.
Great.
थोड़ा मजा आता है देर रात. We have some drinks and we work and so it is like more party time than like we were discussing trips
Yes,
where you are
exactly.
also going. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted him to also go. Most probably he will go with us.
Perfect.
Because मैंने उसको ये बोला मैंने कहा 4 साल हो गए यार हम लोग
हाँ,
साथ गए हुए.
हाँ.
We've traveled otherwise but साथ नहीं
But
गए.
specifically when you go
हाँ.
in a different thing,
So
yeah.
let's go together. You know, it's a well, that's a different altogether dynamics because we have been friends first and partners later.
Partners later. And that's why I see this bonding going so strong. It's
Yes,
very good.
yes,
It's
yes.
very good.
So actually, it is similar to you also.
Yeah.
I would say it is with your wife.
Yes. Now my wife, earlier we were dating each other. Yes.
Yes.
That's how it started. Perfect. So yeah. So Sophie, like you said, at times you become friends and then you see how much effort the other person is putting in, right?
Correct, correct.
And that is where I, I would say I fell head over heels. I was like, this is the kind of woman I would want to be, associated with a partner in my life, and someone who's taking that much of a pain or that much of attention to the office the way I take it. So it was something that really, blew me. And that is where we had all the conversations about office. And ultimately, it was like so comfortable for that kind of a working atmosphere to have that come into the
Yeah.
personal angle as well. And that's when we approach each other's family, and that is how it happened.
Yeah, it is like, Archana Puran Singh saying, I want to take you home.
Pretty much like that, yeah. And that helps a lot because we have this power dynamics between each other as
Yes,
well.
yes.
That where I start a project with concept and I am very clear with what I want, and then she further develops it, and she takes the charge. So this is very important, as I said, which would be the case with you. That there's someone you can fall back to when there are
Correct.
decisions. At times you can be in a tight situation where you don't know the answers, but it's easier to talk to when you have other
Definitely.
person with the fraternity and you can talk to them and they share a different angle. At least the conversations become much simpler. So this is something very
Yeah, it is better. It is nice to see somebody identifying with you.
exactly
So you,
resonating with you. I
ah,
would say, yeah.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
having said that, I just want to understand that in the last 29 years, if let's say, I always think of myself that way. Let's say if I have to start all over again, what different would I want to do? Have you ever have a thought, or maybe you as partners discuss you want to do that? What could be different, or what you would want to change?
And I would want to design cars.
Automobile industry because of the
Yes,
passion of.
yes, yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, something which still remains a distant dream,
And
I
if you
would
could
say.
say on sir's behalf, what would he want?
Madhup,
Because he's
I would
too
say
much, he's too passionate about landscape.
he's too passionate about landscape, but he might enter into fashion industry.
Fashion. Oh wow, that's so okay. Could be true.
So because he gets into minor details which I at times overskip. The touch, feel, the five sensory
Yeah,
things which we have, and I'm more I would say more interested in styling, more interested in detailing, but he is more interested in feeling.
got it.
So fashion is all about fabric, fashion is all about touch and see.
Yes, yes.
It is so. Therefore, I feel that he would make a better professional in fashion if at all he has to restart.
And that way also you will have the partnership. You
Oh
will
yes,
design luxury cars and you
yeah,
would have the
yeah, yeah,
fashion show
yeah,
next to
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
That
Obviously,
is good. That
I'll
is
have a nice models next to the
next to the
cars.
car. Yeah. Got it. And I always wanted, now very recently we have let out certain letters to, it's been 11 years for us doing this now. Although a very young firm, still, 11 years. We started in 2014. We have tried to reach out to people who have worked with us in the last 11 years. Alumni, if I may call it, people, maybe an intern,
Correct,
maybe a
correct.
junior architect, senior architect, people I pursued and I wanted them to be maybe a partner as well at a point. We had a fallout. But they were part of the journey that we have done. And they have put so much of credible energy, they have put so much of effort to where we are. And I give, all the the efforts that they put in. We are as an studio where we are today. We are all because of that effort. So
Correct.
we have reached out to them just to know a couple of things. The moments that you remembered with us, the projects that you worked on, and when you were there with us and you were part of us. now you will always remain a
Yeah,
part of us. But
obviously.
when you were in that ecosystem and now where we have grown, would you have thought something different, or you had a thought process that we would be here or we would be somewhere else? So what is like, what is your take on us? Like, what do you think we have done right, or we could be doing differently?
No, no, I actually, I would say I look up to your flamboyancy.
Okay,
It is
thank you.
something which I actually admire, because the way you carry yourself and the way and studio has carried itself from that for the last 14 years. I'm very proud to say that I know you.
Yep, yep.
And your projects and the way you deal with things and the clarity of thought you have. Beyond this stage, I will not get into the project.
Yeah, yeah,
That is something which is a very difficult task to do.
yeah.
You know,
You can get carried away.
yeah, you
Yeah.
get carried away. But then deciding that after concept, it's not my job to look into the project.
Yeah.
It has my team to look after,
Yes.
because you have to make them feel responsible.
True. And that's
So
how they nurture and learn.
yeah, such decisions are very bold decisions, and I feel I need to learn from you. Though my team, yes, they take decisions, but again, to have this in public, sir, I don't look into drawings after this stage.
Yeah.
Saying it publicly needs a
Yeah.
lot of courage.
Yeah. I understand.
That is something I feel that I need to learn from you. And the other thing is that the work-life balance which you have, all 4 Saturdays, yesterday I came to know,
Yeah.
are off in your office. मेरे को नौकरी दे दो यार.
No, no. Maybe in the future we have a certain collaboration. We work on a project together. But
No,
see,
we on that count, मेरे ऑफिस में 2 Saturdays ऑफ रहते हैं.
हाँ, हाँ.
तो 2 ही की बात है. तो शायद कोलैबोरेट करने से वो इफेक्ट आ जाए.
Affect Aja. True, true. No, this also I learned very early in the stage. So I worked at two different studios. So one was Sangat Dr. B.V. Doshi, where there is no time of coming and going. Now there might be a different scenario, but it was like a studio when we used to be in our college. There is no, there is a timeline for submission certainly,
Obviously.
but how to get there is no timeline to that. So you could early morning come, the studio is open, work, go back, and do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, the crux was like the kind of concepts that you're coming up with.
Correct.
The second was Studio Lotus, right?
हाँ.
This was completely the opposite. So
Ambrish,
I
yes.
learned the design and then I implemented over there. And I can very out loudly say that I worked very closely with Siddharji. Ambrish, yes, he's the the main brains behind the whole of the concept. But Siddharth really, I think I honed myself with him because he's someone who made me, as I say, now that courage to give it to my team. I think I learned from him that he gave me that responsibility and trusted in me that I could tackle the biggest of the projects. I remember doing concept for Krishi Bhavan, Ras, Dharamshala, the biggest of the projects that they have. So I conceptualized them at that point, and that changed my narrative when I started my studio. So there was a learning from everything. I would not say the goods and the bad, but goods, the best of the things that I learned, and that I imbibed in my studio.
So
And one of them was
incidentally,
this.
incidentally, Siddharth, Ambrish, and
Ankur.
Ankur.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know them from the day when they were working for
I know. Exactly.
Amardeep.
Amardeep ji, yeah.
So and incidentally, we started our practice and they started their practice.
Yes, yes.
So Sid happens to be a good friend of ours, and we
Yes.
discuss designs at times.
Yes.
And yes, they do tremendously good work.
Yes.
That is like not to be doubted.
True,
I'm
true.
very proud to say that we are friends with Lotus.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
And I see to share that same space
Yes,
is something,
yes.
it uplifts you.
Yeah, yeah.
It uplifts the kind of the culture that we might have in the architecture and design fraternity now.
Correct.
That there's someone who's stepping it up on the international level as well. So I also say, the way the development has happened, the way, the whole architecture fraternity is taking it up, we should be doing that more.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
more often learning from
Actually,
each
we
other.
have to interact more, and we need to come together and share our experiences. Then only we will be able to help each other.
True, true.
हम लोग सब अपने अपना कुआं खुद खोद रहे हैं, खुद ही उसमें पानी निकाल रहे हैं और खुद ही पी रहे हैं.
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to have a different approach, and we need to interact more. Like
Yeah.
yesterday we sat and we interacted. So
True.
this is sort of a scenario where we should interact with Sid, as I
Yes,
call him,
yes,
Siddharth, and we need to experience, know more about his experience.
Exactly.
कुछ तो हम भी सीखेंगे, कुछ वो हमसे सीखेगा.
So interestingly, I met
हाँ
him after the whole thing that has
हाँ
happened,
हाँ
which you have also,
हाँ हाँ
which you know of as well. So I met him, and I like him more now
हाँ
because I remember the times that we were there, we were trying to do certain things, but because of the way the system was, we were not able to do that much. But
yes
now I think he enjoys that freedom more, and at that point of life or the stage of career, he has taken a very bold step,
हाँ
and which is something a very good learning for everyone. Like, you know, if when someone who's coming up with a the new energy and wants to start their own practice, they should actually look at something like that, that
obviously
after having that kind of a successful practice, still you feel misaligned, you can start again. So
again yes
there
yes
is that's a good learning.
correct, and he's more become more smarter now.
100% he
With
is
that gray
he,
beard, he's.
yeah, yeah.
We traveled to Dubai last year, so
Okay,
we had some good time.
good.
But we need to meet often.
Certainly, I think I give that stage to you, that you know, you being the one like Triple ID,
uh,
maybe come up with
yes.
a platform where we could have this
Yeah, as a
interactions,
member, yes, as a
and
part
maybe
of
if we could
managing
just
committee.
start with you know, maybe calling each other in our
Each other's office.
studios,
Yes,
exactly,
yes.
have discussions, or maybe, you know, at times, you know, you are working on a concept, I am working on a concept, and we, you know, you already know that, you know, this is a good project
Obviously.
where I feel that I have been doing this for so much of time, but still there could be a different perspective, but there is no one to question me. Obviously my partner would do that, but maybe an external perspective would really shape the narrative very
Yes,
differently,
yes,
you
yes,
know.
yes.
So as I say, as architect designer, we are storytellers, but your story could be much more interesting than mine, so
Obviously,
why not
same project, I can interpret it another way, you can interpret it
exactly,
in another
exactly.
way, and very true. It is very true
And
about
this
it.
is
Yeah.
something that again I fall back and I say that I learned in Sangat. They
Huh.
used to have an international studio.
Huh.
So imagine they might have done maybe Raksha Shakti University, Lavard, or they did a Bhadra Fort redevelopment. Imagine an European student of architecture looking at it very differently, and maybe someone who's out of Paris, someone out of Milan, they would look at it as Duomo, and that
Obviously, yes,
you know,
yes,
it's a
yes.
very different concept to look at.
Right, right,
So we
right.
could always you know, ponder on these ideas, and maybe as studios call each other, have maybe sessions, and more of like a design share it, because talks and stuff, I like it, it's good,
No,
but it should be
actually,
more
this even happens with Madhup and me.
I
Like
understand.
while we were working on this T2 Bangalore
Yeah, airport, yeah,
airport, you see those bells hanging from
yeah,
the air, and a lot of greens are there.
yeah,
I was questioning him. I said, "Yeah, you're creating a problem. It's a problem. First, the problem is there, and then you're solving it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But then it has been so naturally solved
yeah.
that after 3 years,
Hmm.
now I feel very proud to see that. I said, ho gaya.
It is an amazing image to
Ha,
look at.
ha.
I think it's put up the Indian, you know, the whole infrastructure of how we
Yes,
are shaping
yes,
our
yes, yes.
buildings.
Yeah,
Sustainability wise, it is here that
correct,
you're
correct.
still rooted, but you're here on
And it
sustainability point.
talks about technology also.
True,
It
exactly.
latest
Integrating it, yeah.
technology, and I would say hard work, and the species of plants selected all over the world.
Yeah,
So a lot of work has gone into it. So
perfect.
now slowly I am falling in love with that project, rather than I was questioning Madhup earlier कि
Yeah,
क्यों कर रहे हो ये क्यों
yeah.
कर रहे हो लेकिन
No, so I should give all credits to him and you, that that is one of the projects that I generally don't take out my phone to take a picture. But there I was trying to, you know, just capture, because it's like it's a transit. But
yes,
making someone's transit so
so
memorable is
memorable,
something
yes,
very important. Like you are giving a piece of memory to them. So
yeah.
which was very interesting. Yeah.
So that is, these are some of the projects which we have worked upon.
Great.
Again, we have also worked upon Rashtrapati Bhavan. We have
Hmm.
also worked upon the earlier Parliament Annexe. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, so our scale is also, as I said,
Yeah.
we have always worked on
Scale. Yeah.
scale, and not smaller projects. So I feel we keep on working like this, and we should interact far more. And as a part of managing committee of Triple ID,
Yeah.
I would say I should more interact with our architect friends, and invite them more into the events held
True.
by
True.
Triple ID,
Yes.
because I try my best, but still that best has its own margins left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
उसको पूरा करना है मेरे को.
No, no, I think
And
it's, I will take it hands on for me as well. That, you know, I'll take that leverage. I will also reach out to people, because it's always how the connections build.
Yes,
And then
yes.
you can always look for the younger generation. You can look for younger talent who are really doing good. Like last night, we gave couple of awards to couple of people.
Yes, yes,
There were
yes.
so many interesting
Correct,
people. We
correct.
were talking about them,
Yes, yes,
so we could
yes.
have them, and that
Yeah, correct,
conversations
correct,
would be
correct.
something which could be meaningful
And
to everyone.
imagine the influencers which we awarded.
Yes,
We are
exactly.
not aware of them.
Yeah, exactly. We were
And the
giving them award,
type
but
of
we don't
followers they
know
have, the number of followers they
number.
have.
Yeah, so the reach that they have in this
Yes,
industry is very,
yes.
our individual studios might not have that reach, but
Obviously.
those people have that reach, which is good. That they
Yeah.
are
3 lakh
educating the
followers,
people. Yeah,
2.5 lakh followers is like
that's a good
huge.
number. That's a good
Yeah,
number,
yeah, yeah.
and that's
So,
a new avenue of business altogether that has
obviously,
grown.
yes.
It's educating people.
Correct.
I understand that. Perfect.
So, with this, let's wrap up
Let's
this
conclude this, and it was
podcast.
lovely
Uh,
again meeting you and having this interaction. Perfect, sir.
yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.